Hi guys, Shaz and Court here. We have come to you today to bring you a very quick and easy practice that is perfect for releasing any lower back tension. Both Court and I experience sciatica pain, and we find these are our go-to poses just to release a little bit of that discomfort that we hold on to through our lower back. So if you're feeling like you need a quick back energizer, this is going to be a great practice for you. So what you'll need for today's practice, if you do have blocks, we always recommend grabbing 2 blocks. It'll just be towards the end of the practice where we'll support our knees. However, again, it's not necessary, it's only an invitation, and let's get straight to it. So we'll begin in child's pose to start off with. And we're going to take a more closed-knee child's pose today. So sinking back onto the heels of the feet to begin with, and then begin to arch the body forward. And you might want to extend your arms long out in front of you, opposed to having them long beside your body, and just begin to rest the crown of the head down. So we're just going to take 5 breaths here, just to settle into the pose, and consciously sending the breath to fill up the back of the body, the back of the heart, the back of the lungs. And as we exhale, perhaps feeling our tailbone drawing closer to the earth. If you do want a little bit more spice, you can come up onto your fingertips, lengthen through your shoulders all the way down to the fingertips. And let's take 2 more breaths here. And 1 more breath. And gently bring the fingertips back down to the earth. Take your flat palms, and on the next inhale, we'll wave the body forward and come to our gentle upward facing dog. And so we'll rest those thighs down onto the ground. Gaze will be straight out in front of you. Let's stay here for 1 more breath. And as you exhale, gently push back to your child's pose. I'm going to go ahead and take 5 rounds just like that. So connecting the movement to breath. When you're ready, breathe in, wave the body forward. And as you exhale, child's pose. Again, not being in any rush. More about slow and steady movement to begin with. We are warming up through our spines here. We really want to feel each movement. So let's go ahead and take 2 more. This is our last one, and we are going to pause in our upward facing dog with the thighs resting on the ground. Now here you might want to widen out through the feet and just have the tops of the feet planted into the mat. And if this is too strong for you, you can come on down to a cobra-like shape. So just hugging those elbows into the body. But if this feels okay, holding here, and let's take 3 more breaths. Gaze is out in front of us. One more breath. And as we exhale, we are coming to our tabletop position. So just gently push the hip bones back. Maybe need to readjust through the hands, pressing down through the palms. And as we exhale, we are going to send our tailbone high for downward facing dog. And as we breathe in, we are going to lower our knees back down to the earth for tabletop. So we're just going to make our way through these 2 positions and take 4 rounds. So exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. So just moving nice and steadily. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to tabletop. We've got 1 more. Exhale, down dog. And inhale, tabletop. Pausing in your tabletop. And making our way through a few rounds of cat and cow now. So as we breathe in, we lift the crown of the head, open through the chest. And as we exhale, drawing the chin to chest, dome through the back, push the earth away. Let's take 5 rounds like this, breathing in, making your way to cow pose. As you exhale, coming through to cat. And if you can over accentuate the pose slightly, go ahead and do so. Let's take 2 more. Last one. And just coming back to your neutral spine. And from here, we are going to come into a Sphinx pose. So come to lie on the bellies and have the elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. Tops of feet are pressed down into the mat. We're opening through our chest. Gaze is directly out in front of us. Now we'll take a breath in here. And as we exhale, we'll bring our gaze over our right shoulder. Maybe you catch a glimpse of that right foot. Let's just pause here. And as you inhale, come back through to center. And as you exhale, bring your gaze over your left shoulder, maybe catching a glimpse of your left foot. 1 breath. And then come through to center. Let's go ahead and take 1 more on either side. And come back to center. And then take it over to the left side. And then gently come on back to center. If you're like us and you have blocks in the way, just gently remove them to the side. We'll make our way into a seal shape now. So we're going to bring our hands out the length of the mat, or the width of the mat, I should say. Coming up onto the fingertips, opening through the chest. Again, gaze is forward. And as we exhale, we are going to lower down to the mat, bending through the elbows, crown of the head comes down. As we breathe in, we wave our spine back up. And as we exhale, we lower the crown of the head down. Let's take 5 more. Again, really connecting your movement to your breath. If you want to come up a little bit higher each time and it feels okay in your back, then go ahead and do so. Let's just take 2 more wherever we are. Allowing our spine to move like a beautiful wave in the ocean. Last one. We're going to hold up into our seal pose. So this is where you might like to flatten through the hands and maybe come up a little bit higher if you can. So lifting that navel off the mat and continuing to open through the chest. So this is going to feel quite strong through your lower back. So again, if you need to modify, you can always bend through the elbows, listening to the bodies, and let's stay here for 3 breaths. Let's take 1 more breath here. And on the exhale, we will lower all the way down. Making our way into a dynamic Shalabhasana now. So how this is going to look is we're going to bring our arms along beside our body. The crown of the head will be facing down towards the mat. Now to begin with, we are going to place our left palm to our lower back with the palm facing up towards the ceiling. The right arm will sweep forward as we breathe in, and the left leg will rise. As we exhale, we'll draw that right arm long beside the body and place the right hand to the lower back. Inhale, sweep that left arm forward and raise the right leg. Exhale to lower. Let's take it over to the opposite side. Inhale, sweep that right arm forward, left leg lifts. Exhale to lower. Inhale, sweep the left arm forward, right leg lifts. Exhale to lower. Let's go ahead and take 2 more on either side. Just moving with that breath. We have 1 more on either side. Once you have taken your final round, place that right cheek to the earth. Bring the arms long beside the body and close down the eyes. Allow the heels of the feet to drop out wide. Allow your belly to soften to the earth. And let's just take 3 breaths here. We have 1 more breath. And then gently rolling over onto your backs. So staying exactly where you are and just rolling onto your backs. Bringing the soles of the feet close to the glutes, making sure that those fingertips can sweep the heels. We are going to be setting up for a few rounds of dynamic bridge. So how this is going to look is as we breathe in, we'll sweep our arms to the sky, the pelvis will rise, we'll touch the tops of the hands to the earth. And as we exhale, we'll bring those arms along beside the body and lower the pelvis back down. So we might even introduce a count here. So when we're ready, let's breathe in for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch the backs of the palms. And as we exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take 2 more rounds like that. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Allow the spine to come back to its neutral state. And from here, we are going to take a supine twist. And you have a couple of options here. Option number 1 is you can simply drop both knees out over towards the right hand side. Or option number 2 is to begin to lift the soles of the feet off the earth. And maybe you want to wrap your left leg over your right leg and then gently begin to drop the knees out over towards the right. Option to cactus the arms or bring them into a T-like shape, and then gaze comes out over towards the left side. And we'll go ahead and take 3 breaths here. Let's take 1 more breath. And slowly coming back to center. If you chose to take your legs crossed over, gently unravel them. Again, option to drop both knees out over to the left, or if you would like to draw your right leg over your left, and then begin to drop it out over towards the left side. Gaze comes out to the right, and we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Let's take 1 more breath together. And slowly bring your knees back to center. Gently unravel them and just hug the knees into the chest. You might like to cross over at the ankles here and just take a few little hip circles in one direction. And then go ahead and take it in the opposite direction. And ever so gently begin to rock and roll up the length of your mat, arriving in a seated position. And if you do have those blocks handy, go ahead and grab them. We're going to take a seated butterfly, so bringing the soles of the feet together, grabbing those blocks and gently placing them underneath the knees for added support. Wrap the hands around the ankles and lengthen through the spine. And we're going to stay here for 10 breaths. So if you can, close down the eyes, allow the body to soften, becoming more aware of anywhere that you are gripping or holding onto, any areas of discomfort in the body, and allowing that breath to soften you. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths. And last breath. And gently cracking open the eyes. And we will end practice with a seated forward fold. So extending the legs out in front of us. Taking a Dandasana to rest and reset, to bring the palms beside the hips, lengthening through the spine. And once we have grounded down through our sit bones, we will sweep our arms to the sky on the breath in. And as we exhale, we'll hinge from our hips and come to our forward fold. Maybe the knees are bent here. Maybe the hands wrap around the soles of the feet, or maybe they rest onto the shins. It doesn't really matter. And allow yourself to become heavy. Take 5 breaths here. Again, the goal isn't to get the crown of the head resting on the shins. The goal is to feel this opening and release through the back of the body. Let's take 1 more breath together. And on the next breath in, we'll sweep the arms back up to the sky. And as we exhale, bring them beside the hips, release. Dandasana. And take 2 breaths here. And once you have taken your 2 breaths, hug your knees into your body, give yourself a big hug. And this is where we will end today's practice, guys. So I hope your back's feeling a little bit more looser and juicy, and we'll see you on the mat next time. Bye.